To really get this story, we need to rewind a bit. They had been wandering in the desert for 40 years. And now, under their new leader Joshua, they were finally entering the Promised Land. Instead, they were to march around the city once a day for 6 days, and on the 7th day march around it 7 times, shout, and blow their trumpets. It was a stunning victory, a clear sign that God was with them. He said that everything in Jericho was devoted to destruction. This meant it was all to be dedicated to the Lord. No one was to take any of the plunder, the gold, silver, bronze, or fancy clothes for themselves. It all belonged to God. This wasn't just a random rule. It was a test of their obedience and a recognition that the victory came from Him alone. They were to trust Him to provide for them, not to look to the spoils of war for their security. Hidden among the soldiers was a man named Achan. A beautiful robe from Babylonia, 200 shekels of silver, and a bar of gold weighing 50 shekels. In that moment, Achan faced a choice. With Jericho conquered, the Israelites were confident. It seemed like an easy win. Joshua sent out some spies, and they came back with a report that was almost arrogant. But what happened next was completely unexpected. The men of Ai came out and routed the Israelite army. The soldiers of Israel, who had just seen God crumble the walls of Jericho, turned and fled in terror. About 36 of them were killed in the retreat. Now, 36 men might not sound like a huge number, but the effect on the nation's morale was devastating. Joshua was heartbroken. He tore his clothes, fell on his face before the Ark of the Covenant, and cried out to God. He asked, "Why did you bring us across the Jordan River, only to let us be defeated? What will the other nations think?" They'll hear about this and lose all respect for your great name. Joshua couldn't understand how things could go from so good to so bad so fast. And then God answered. His response was chilling. He told Joshua, "Stand up. What are you doing down on your face? Israel has sinned. They have violated my covenant, which I commanded them to keep. They have taken some of the devoted things. They have stolen. They have lied. They have put them with their own possessions. God revealed the shocking truth. The entire nation was suffering because of one person's hidden sin. Achan's secret wasn't secret from God. They went tribe by tribe, then clan by clan, family by family, and finally man by man. Joshua looked at him and said, "My son, give glory to the Lord, the God of Israel, and give him the praise." The secret was out, and the consequences were about to be felt. The penalty was severe. Achan, along with his entire family and all his possessions, was taken to a valley. Under the law at that time, his sin was seen as a corporate one, affecting his whole household. The valley was named the Valley of Acre, which means trouble, a permanent reminder of the trouble Achan's sin had brought upon Israel. It's a harsh and difficult part of the story to read, but it shows how seriously God takes sin. After the sin was dealt with, God's relationship with Israel was restored. He then gave them a new strategy to defeat Ai, and this time they were victorious. So what does this ancient story about a man named Achan have to do with us today? It teaches us that what we do in private matters. Achan's sin started with a look he saw, then it moved to his heart he coveted, and finally it resulted in an action he took and hid. Once the sin was confessed and dealt with, God immediately restored his relationship with Israel and gave them victory. It shows us that God is always ready to forgive and restore us when we come to him with honesty and repentance. The story of Achan at Jericho is a sobering but essential lesson. It challenges us to examine our own lives. Are there any devoted things we're holding on to? Any areas where we are knowingly disobeying God, thinking it doesn't matter? Let's learn from Achan's mistake and choose honesty, integrity, and complete obedience.